Here's the next update on the K10. It's finally coming together. A little bit at a time. Front end's together. All the glass is in. I think it looks pretty good. Got a toolbox. Windows are tinted. The rear bumper is mocked up. Not too bad looking. Inside the bed's bed line. I came up a couple inches on the side, but for the most part, looks pretty good. On the rear bumper, it's a little crooked, but gets the idea. I said I was just going to put it on there. I didn't think it was going to look that horrible, but the actual gap was all the way down there. So I was like, there's no way I'm going to leave it like that. So I had to modify it. It wasn't too hard to do. To get it up to where it's going to end up being just like it was from the factory. On these brackets, you got the factory setup is 1 bolt, 2 bolts here, and then 2 bolts there. This thick bracket originally came down on an angle, so I took out the 1 bolt, took out these 2 bolts, left this one loose, and that one is loose, which makes it so you can bring the bumper straight up. Doesn't really bring it outward anymore, but it makes it to where you can make it level. So I'll end up welding it, do a straight weld there, and then I'll do a straight weld there. It's not like the bumper needs to come off anytime soon. If it does, I can just cut the weld, unbolt it, and then take it out. So I'll end up just having the 1 bolt there and 1 bolt there. 1 single bolt here for the outer brackets. Solving the problem with that, because once you bring it up, these don't line up anymore. You can take, I'm going to take the passenger side bracket is coming over to the driver's side, and you just flip it over like that, and then driver's side is going to the passenger side flipped over, so it still bolts up. It'll only have 1 bolt there, and then you got the 2 bolts at the back. It'll need 2 washers between the bracket itself and the bumper, but at least it'll keep the outside edges of the bumper from wobbling. So 1 bolt's good enough. It ain't going to go anywhere. But this lower hole isn't going to be used. It'll be the upper hole gets used. It lines up. You'll just have this sticking down a little bit below the frame, so you could cut it off. I'm not cutting it off, but I'm just going to leave it like that. So that levels out the bumper. I won't have to fabricate anything. It's just a matter of flipping the brackets over and putting them on the different sides, and then just straight welding it. Tail lights are new tail lights. I got those from O'Reilly's. The guy sold them to me for $17 a piece, which I thought was a fair deal. Toolbox is a Craigslist deal for $100. It was really dull aluminum, so I ended up taking a buffer and some polish, and I polished it up. That makes it a little bit more shiny. You couldn't even see any kind of reflection in it when I got it. For $100, can't beat it. I did all the window tint on it. It's 30% tint. I rebuilt the quarter windows, painted the frames. Truck has all new weather strip in there, new locks on the quarter windows. Mirrors, $20 for the pair off of Craigslist. It gives me a set of mirrors. New side markers. The grill is from Eckler's. I got it for $65 because Eckler's is right up the road from me. So saves me on shipping. It's not too bad. The top holes are not shaped for the square plastic nuts. They're just regular round holes. I ended up bolting it in there. I ended up taking the same amount of time it would have taken me to just take a file and file square holes and put the plastic square nuts in there. So, someone was wanting to do it and they got one of these, I would just sit there with the file and file the holes into squares, because it takes the same amount of time to try and bolt it in there. The three in the middle are easy, but the outer ones, unless you got magic hands, which not many people do, I don't. So I sat there forever trying to get the nut tightened, but I used the nylon nuts. So I could just tighten it just enough to hold it and not crack the plastic. Turn signals are new, LMC. Chrome bezels are from LMC. The headlights, the buckets, and the chrome trim are all from LMC, the kit. They were like $35 a piece, which I think was well worth it when you get the whole thing. They're Wagner headlights and then some off-brand high beams. But for $30 for the whole thing, you get the bucket, you get the headlight, and you get the chrome trim for around the headlight with the screws. It saves from trying to find decent buckets and buying lights. So I thought that was well worth it. The centerpiece, the stainless, I ended up using paint stripper, brush on paint stripper, put it on there, took the paint off, took some metal polish, and then just polished it up. New nuts on the back of it. I have 4 grills, 4 or 5 grills. I ended up using the best Chevy symbol from it. I had a perfect Chevy symbol, but the studs broke off when I took it off of the grill, which I wasn't very happy with. So that's the better looking one. I did another tint bar at the top of the windshield. As far as this pillar, in the one video I talked about all the different pieces I used to make this pillar. The only bad spot is right there. So it doesn't leak, but I'll probably end up taking black RTV and fill in that gap that's up there. You won't even be able to tell. I'll mask it off, RTV it, and then it'll just kind of look like rubber. But looking at it, it's almost the same as the driver's side. I mean, it's just a thin amount of paint. Shows. So, I think it looks pretty decent. It's a matter of just painting all the brackets, painting the wiper arm brackets, the bolts. I'm working on the interior. You can still see out of the windows. I mean, they're not crazy dark. But I got the firewall installations in there. This is from LMC. This is the aluminum fiber installation on it. It's actually really good. I'm surprised. I didn't think it would be that good, but it's pretty thick. The firewall has the same rubber mat that I used on the fuel tank. So it's one solid piece that goes across the firewall. When I did all the firewall metal repair, I filled in the holes for the rubber mat little push pins that are used to hold the firewall insulation to the firewall. I didn't want those holes, so I filled them in knowing that I was going to glue the mat on. So that's why the mat is glued. So it's just a matter of sticking it on there and then trim it to fit. So the rubber is glued to the firewall. This insulation is only glued on the top half, and then I left it loose on the bottom so I can put all the brackets on, be able to pull it up, cut holes where I need to. But I have to get another roll because I don't have enough to finish the rest of it. But I got big pieces of rubber mat underneath the floors. Then it'd be a matter of just making little small areas for here and then for the transmission hump. But it should be pretty quiet on the inside of it. That's about it. I'm getting ready to work on the AC box. Big thing about how all the insulation in here and the rubber mats is I want my AC to be very cold. And when I did the Mustang, I used the house insulation, which gets rid of some of the sound from the car, but man, it don't do anything for heat. So that's why I ended up using this stuff instead of the house insulation like I did on the Mustang. Great for lightweight and some sound control, not much for heat, because when you drive that Mustang with the AC not working, yeah, it gets real hot in there. But a lot of it's time consuming stuff, painting brackets, painting all the bolts and screws and stuff. I paint everything. I try to clean everything up. I don't want to put rusted stuff on there. But my brother has the same truck. He's got a short bed with a 4BT swap in it, and then he's got a crew cab, which he's doing the same thing, doing a diesel swap on that. So I'll put a link of one of his videos in the description. You can check out his videos if you're into the diesels. And then obviously if you like the K10s, K20s, K30s, they're good videos to watch. So I'll put that link in the description. Check out his videos. And for that, that's it.